Yes, I think we are live. So I always have to check because sometimes I think I'm live and then I'm just talking to no one. All right, everyone, let me just check to make sure I am actually live. Yes, I am live. Okay, we are live right now. Welcome back, everyone. Obviously, we're doing our regular live Sunday live Q&A, and today we have a special guest, Lynne. We're actually going to talk about how to integrate dogs into a household that already has cats, or maybe just how to integrate cats and dogs, right? So Lynne has several cats. We'll let Lynne talk about how many cats she has and how many dogs she has and how she did the integration. Plus, the other thing is also Lynne had several fosters, right? You had several fosters that you had to integrate the fosters with the resident cats. And just so that, not everyone probably know like how we got to know each other and whatnot. So we got to know each other through our World Animal Guardians. We were on the board together. Lynne is still on the board. I stepped down from the board a couple months ago. But yeah, she's big into the rescue world as well. So we all have a common interest to, help save dogs and cats and put them in their forever homes. So let's hear it from Lynne. So Lynne, tell us how many cats you had and then how many dogs you have right now.
Sure. So when I got my first dog, I had
3 cats. 4. You had 4 cats when you
got Molly.
Molly. Okay, all right. And how did you do the introduction? Because Molly was what, about 4 months old? She was about 4 months, right? So it was already like past her, like the 0 to 3 months stage kind of thing. And so how did you do the introduction? And Molly is a Middle Eastern village dog. So if you think desert dog, their prey drive is pretty high, right? How did you do that introduction?
So what I did, which I think is really important, is that I was lucky enough to have two
Okay, wait, I can't hear you. 2 what?
2 levels in my home.
Okay.
So I think critical are baby gates. It's what is really important is making sure that the cats kind of have their own place, and
Yeah.
that they've got a place to retreat where they can get away from the annoying thing. And it's important to understand that not all animals are the same. If one cat loves dogs, another cat might hate
Right.
dogs, and
Yes.
another cat might just be terrified of dogs and go hide behind your washing machine. So there isn't a standard, if you will, but the way that I did it is that I set the cats up upstairs. They had their food, they had litter boxes, and I had a baby gate across the stairs. So the cats could make the decision to come downstairs and be in the vicinity of Molly, or they could make the decision to stay upstairs, but they felt secure there because she couldn't just pop up whenever she
Right.
felt like it.
Right.
And
The
so what
cat
I
could
did
jump
is,
over the gate, but
yeah,
Molly had to like stay up because it was harder probably to jump the other way. So,
yeah. So Molly was downstairs and I put
right.
the gate about 2 steps up. So she was
Okay.
not,
Oh, that was harder
you know,
even.
the height of
Yes.
it, especially
Yeah.
being just a puppy, there was no
Right.
way.
Okay.
But the cats certainly could jump over it and come
Right.
down if they wanted
W-
to.
Well, yeah, we know how cats are nimble and they can jump over anything and like they can jump on
Exactly.
anything. Like they can jump on the high cabinet and whatnot. So, yeah. So the cats had a
Which is
way to
which
get
is
away.
actually a great point. You stand a much better shot at corralling your dog than corralling your
Yes,
cat.
because the cats go away. They can jump, they can run away really easily, right? They have a
Yeah.
mind of their own. It's
Yeah, exactly. But what I did is I set up kind of set visiting times for Molly.
Ah,
So what I would do is, the cats would be fed in peace, allowed to chill out after feeding in peace. I would feed Molly. I would take her out for a walk, get some of her energy out. First thing in the morning, we'd go for a long walk. And then
okay.
when we would come back home, I would say to her, do you want to see the kitties? And then I would open the gate and I would go up with her.
Okay.
And of course, she would go up like on fire, running everywhere looking for them. And the
Excited.
cats would
Yeah.
scatter, like, you
Right.
know, but it was like it's a fairly confined space. So
Okay.
she really wasn't able to chase, if you will. It was a smaller area,
Okay.
doorways and things like that. So the cats had plenty of room to maneuver. It wasn't a big wide open space where Molly could actually chase.
Got it.
And so after she got her kind of initial rambunction over, I would pick her up and sit on the bed. And then we would just kind of hang out in their space, not
Okay.
talking to them, not touching them, not
Right.
forcing them to interact, just kind of relaxing. We would do that for maybe 15, 20 minutes. And
Right.
then
And so
I would
that you
call.
would be with Molly on the bed, right? And then the cats are just
Absolutely.
wherever. So you're just chilling with Molly, showing her like this is how we chill in the presence of the cats. Like we're not going to chase them, right? And so I'm assuming that
Exactly.
you probably like patted Molly, and whenever she's just calm with you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Or I would play with her on the bed. So we might
Okay.
have like a
Okay.
little chew toy, but
All
I
right.
would keep her attention sort of focused on me,
Okay.
not, giving her a reward activity, so that the
Right.
cats were kind of free to watch her or
Right.
whatever. And so, they, even though she was now in their space and they were sort of scattered,
Right.
they could kind of watch and not feel hunted.
Right. Because
And
she's
so
not
we would
chasing after
play.
them.
Exactly. So we'd
Right.
play, maybe a little tug toy. Maybe I would give her a chew.
Right.
Always had a collar and leash
Yeah.
on, which is
That's a good
important.
point. Because then you can just like step on it or hold on to it if she gets into
Yep,
that chase mode, right?
exactly. So if
Right.
something happened or whatever, and she decided all of a sudden to bolt, I
Right.
had the control. She wasn't going
Yes.
anywhere. And
Yes.
that was, I think, really important for the cats to feel secure. Is that,
Right.
if you have a bad interaction, you know how cats are. They don't
Yes.
forgive
No, they
anything.
don't. They don't. And
Um,
they will stay away
they will hold it
forever.
against you forever.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so Molly was always on a leash with a collar, so that I had her under control and she was allowed to have, some freedom to sniff. We did a lot of kind of walking around because, as you know,
Yeah.
for dogs, scent is everything. Cats,
Yes.
very similar. So it was kind
Yes.
of just getting the opportunity to mix the scents, to be in each other's space,
Right.
15, 20 minutes at a shot, so that
Okay.
you don't elevate anybody's stress level. And then,
Yes.
Molly and I back downstairs, baby gate back up, cats few hours to
Up there.
decompress,
Right.
do it again, maybe, 4 or 5 hours later in the afternoon, right before dinner.
Okay.
Um, and then we would like kind of repeat. And
Right.
then during that was probably, in the initial month or so.
Okay. I was just
Um,
going to ask you, how long did you do that every day? How long did you do that? Because this was several years ago, right?
yes, I've had Molly
Yeah.
for 4 years.
Right. Right.
And I have had Bruce for 3.5 years.
Yeah. I wasn't so
And
afraid of Bruce because Bruce, you had him like he was really little, like when you got him.
yeah, his prey drive is like 17 times Molly's, though,
Even
believe it
as
or
a
not.
little puppy? Like when he came
Yes,
to you, he was so tiny. Well, I
he
think he was
was.
tiny.
He was really tiny. He was
Right.
only about 8 weeks. We thought he was
Yeah.
10.
Right.
Um,
Right. Well, we thought,
yeah.
yeah.
So, but yeah, when he was that little, it wasn't that big a deal because the cats kind of
Right.
had already
Well, the cats were
adjusted to
bigger than him,
Molly.
probably.
They were
But you
initially.
still had to integrate him to the
You
cats,
do,
right?
because what people don't understand understand, I think a lot of times, and it really helps, is you have to think like the dog and like the
Right.
cat. And so cats, their natural defense mechanism is run and climb or run and hide. And
Yes.
for dogs, their prey drive gets triggered with that motion. So it could, it may not even be that they want to kill your cat,
That's
but
right.
once the cat takes off really
Runs.
fast,
Right.
that visual sets
Yes.
off stimulation, which
Right.
triggers the things in the brain, which
Let me go
creates the
find it. Right.
yeah.
Right. That
And
charging
it's
thing is like, oh,
it's
what just
not
went by?
exactly. And people need to understand it's not like your dog's sitting there like, you know what, I'm gonna chase the cat. It is an instantaneous, like
Right. Right.
those visual cues create the chemical reaction and the
Right.
prey drive kicks in. And the other thing I
Right.
think that's really important to understand is that um dogs can't multitask. And I think you know this. Like
Yes.
they have one thing in the front of their mind. And so if that prey drive kicks in, you can, juggle ice cream cones while riding on a unicycle and they are not going to pay any attention to you
Right.
whatsoever.
Right.
So it's something that you have to, be aware of is just, and not encourage, kind of
Right.
prepare for those behaviors.
And that's why the leash
So
attached to their collar is important, because then you can redirect them immediately when they try to, because that the initial stage of introduction, all right, it's like you're teaching them right
exactly.
from wrong. You're teaching them right from wrong. It's like, this is good behavior. And when you try to go after the cat, no, we got to come back to me, right? It's like, you don't want them to go after the cat.
Yep. And you don't want, because if they're on the leash and the collar and like you've just gone and done a big walk or you've been working on some training, they're in the right mind frame to know that I'm in obedience mode, I'm
Yes.
working. And
Yes.
so that also kind of clicks down
Yes.
on the, because it's the same thing when you take them out, right? Like you got to teach them not to chase cars. You got to teach them not to
Exactly.
chase
Or
birds.
squirrels.
You attempt to teach them not to chase squirrels. That squirrels is still going to be on.
It's hard. It's hard for some dogs
But
who have got really high prey drive. Yes.
right. I mean, and it's like, and once they start chasing, the cat is going to keep running. And
Right.
that's where people get into trouble, is that you need to understand that the cat bolts, the dog slips into prey drive, the cat freaks out and runs more and doesn't stop, which elevates the dog's excitement and arousal. And that is when you end up with problems, because
Yeah.
it's not that the dog made the executive decision that they're going to kill the cat. Their genes are telling them, get it.
Right. Right.
And that's out of accidents or injuries or things. And so it's really important to understand that, it takes time. You can't bring a dog and a cat into a household and expect in 3 days you're going to have a harmonious living environment.
Exactly. How long did you take with Molly before they are, because they're now fully integrated? Like, I mean, they're fine. Like even with Bruce, they're fully integrated, because I've seen pictures and whatnot. Like they're fully integrated. How long did it take for you when Molly to get to? I ask about Molly because your cats that you had, they weren't living with a dog before Molly came, right? Right.
No,
so that was like their
never.
first like life with a dog, and so that's why I'm asking back to Molly. It's like, so how long did it take? How long did it take for you to keep on doing what you were doing with Molly and the cats?
It is, yeah, it's very gradual. So I can say that Molly would sleep on my bed upstairs at night.
Okay.
So I think maybe that was a good part of it. The cats would then get the downstairs run of the house. So they
you
sleep
switched
in their favorite positions on the couch and in the windows.
Okay.
So it was kind of like at nighttime, it switched. Molly slept on the bed. The cats sort of had free reign throughout the house.
Okay. I assume you shut your bedroom door so the cats can't come in.
2 years.
Did you hear that, folks? 2 years.
No, I actually I did. I guess if you feel like your cat is that brave, it might not be a bad idea. I knew
Yeah.
my cats were least in sight when Molly was around. So if she
Okay.
went upstairs, they were like, I'm freaking out of here. So we worked that
Right.
periodic.
Oh, wait, you're going in and out. Hang on 1 second.
And kind of, oh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, my signal looks okay.
All right.
Is that
That's
okay?
good now.
Can you
It's
hear
good
me?
now. Yeah, it's good now. You're frozen, but I can hear you. Oh, there. We got it. We got it.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's so strange. But yeah, I mean, so I would say the first big step was sitting downstairs with Molly and having Sam cat, who is no longer with me, but brave
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
He came downstairs and jumped up on the couch with me while Molly was downstairs.
Oh,
was
and then
like,
the other cat
oh my
saw
God,
it.
the cat came downstairs voluntarily. Listen to this, ladies and gents. That was about 2 years after Molly moved into the house. So,
And by
we
then,
are
Molly was a
not
big
an
dog.
overnight success. You might get lucky. So
Yeah.
I know people. She's about 58 pounds. But I do know people that the animals have hit it right off, and maybe
Right.
yours will. My cats
Yeah.
were older when Molly hit the scene. They
Right.
were all in the 9 to 11 years old.
Okay.
So they were pretty set in their ways.
Right.
And they had been together, and I traveled. They were a pack.
Right. The cats. The cats were
Molly
a
was
pack.
an interloper big time.
Right.
But I noticed, yes. What I noticed is, after Jasper came downstairs, initially that, Molly was like, what are you doing in my space? And it's very important to set the boundaries. Like, there was absolute, you will not chase, you will not growl, you will not bark, you will
Right.
not do these things. If Jasper decided or Sam decided they were coming downstairs, then Molly had to be on good behavior. And if she wasn't, she went right back on the collar and the leash. I was not sending the cats out of her vicinity.
Right.
It was their house first.
Right. Right.
And so, cats, I think, are very capable of taking care of themselves. The focus really needs to be on making sure the stands that the cats are part of the family and not a choice.
Yes. Yes. And so then you're working on counter conditioning Molly to not go after them.
Then it just kind of. Yes.
Sorry, you're going in and out.
You
So
just got to, but you have to stay on top of it.
yes.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say you have to stay on top of it. It's really important that you establish the boundaries and that the dog learns that they are not primary. And once it's going to happen that they're going to tangle. And typically my observation is that once a dog takes a set of cat nails to the snout, they tend to readjust their behavior accordingly.
And they're just like, okay, I'm going to stay away from you.
It's really important to observe.
Yes.
Exactly. They're like, ooh, that, ouch.
Yeah, because those cat nails are like, their claws are sharp.
It's very important. Oh, yeah. And, but it's really important to observe behavior too. Because, for example, I have a foster cat at the moment, and my foster cat stalked all through the kitchen, hiding behind chairs, and then popped out at Molly and to her. Which, what are you thinking? I don't know. But in that situation, Molly was startled. which, these dogs
Oh,
have a high startle reflex.
yes.
She was hurt because he jumped out and clawed her.
Mm,
And so she immediately spun and snapped. Now it was a warning snap. She did not go after
right.
Tiggy. But
Oh,
you
that's that
can't
cat.
guarantee
Yes, you've
those things. I
right,
was very,
exactly.
and I mean, look, fair enough. If Tiggy was your little brother and you were Molly, you would probably punch him for doing that. So but it's important to understand
Right.
that you can't trust. These are animals and they
Yes,
have
the instincts come
instincts
out.
and they
Yeah.
have reactions.
Yes.
And yeah, and I mean, dogs are predators with teeth, and
Right.
cats are predators with teeth and with claws. And
Yes.
so, the minute that you think everything is under control is the minute that you are going to have something bad happen. So it's just, I mean, you stay on top of everything all the time? No. Like I said, I was in the living room when that happened, but when I
Right.
heard the dust up, I immediately went, flying in, put her into her place,
Yeah.
got the cat and removed the cat from the environment. The cat went back upstairs, went into a spare bedroom, and everybody had time to decompress.
Right.
But, I would say it's a lot of work. It's rewarding. We're at the point now where everybody can be on the bed at the same time, which
Oh, that's
was
great.
huge.
Yeah.
Molly still trusts the cats, um,
Okay.
but it's great. She's actually afraid of them.
Oh,
Bruce and them are kind of just equally ignore each other.
okay.
He's not
So he
afraid of
doesn't.
them at
He's
all.
okay, and
But
they
at the
don't
same
really care
time,
about him.
they no,
No.
no.
Ah. So
Molly will grumble and growl if
right.
she feels like someone's in her spot.
Okay. Molly sounds like my latte. And
And
start
Bruce just
talking.
sort of sits on them.
Did you say sit on them?
Exactly.
Did you say Bruce sits on them?
Uh, yeah, Bruce just sits on them. Yeah,
And Bruce is big. So he doesn't care. So he probably treats
he
them more
is.
like, you know
Yeah,
what, you're friends or whatever. I just do whatever I want with you. Just like sit on you. It's funny. So I guess the whole
exactly.
thing
And
is
they kind of have learned, oh, here comes it. Doesn't care.
right, right. So I think the
No,
whole
no, I was
thing
going to say
is
they've learned, oh, here comes the dog. Doesn't care.
right. So we need to be patient when we're integrating cats and dogs together, right? Patience and a lot of repetition of work. We're really working with the dog, working with the dog because it's easier to train the dog than it is to go train the cat. So we work on the dog to make sure that it doesn't go chase the cat. And it doesn't, I guess it doesn't really matter, even if your cat is dog savvy from like a previous dog that you might have had in the house, it's still a new dog that you're bringing into the household. So you would still have to do all those things to make sure, because this is a different dog altogether, and different dogs, based on their breed, their personalities might be different. So I just want to make sure like everybody understands this, that oops, I think we lost Lynn. We might have lost Lynn there. But that's okay. So let me just wrap up here and kind of talk about what Lynn says. So you want to make sure that you are doing the stuff that Lynn mentioned, where you're giving your dog their own space, you're giving your cat their own space, right? And then trying to integrate them daily with maybe like 10-15 minutes after you have already taken your dog for walks and done some kind of obedience training and whatnot, and then bringing them together in the same space, but you have a leash on your dog. and your cat can kind of just like go anywhere, right? But you need to do this daily. I think Lynn mentioned about doing it twice daily. She did it twice daily. You want to try to do it daily, and it might take some time to integrate your dog and cat, but it can happen. But you do have to keep your eye on your dog because you're really training your dog to not go after the cat, and establish good boundaries right from the very beginning. All right. So if you have questions, go ahead to our Facebook page or Facebook group. Or if you're watching this on YouTube Live, then go ahead and ask your questions in the comments below. And don't forget to like this page as well as like this video. Subscribe to this page and like this video. And then if you have any questions at all, I will have Lynn answer them for you. I'll copy it and then ask her to help us answer that. But yeah, I'm hoping that Lynn's tips on how to integrate dogs and cats together has been helpful for all of you. Take care and have a great Sunday here in Maryland. It is pretty nice out today. Not as hot, not as cold. Oh, Lynn is back. Lynn is back. So let me try to get her in. I think yeah, I was just wrapping up, Lynn, but okay, I'm glad you came back.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
I think it's your phone connection wherever it is that you're at, like at home. I think it's the phone connection probably just went off.
Yeah, I don't know. I was looking at the Wi-Fi and I've got all my bars and everything. I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Oh, that's okay. No, not at all. So I was trying to recap and say that we need to integrate our dogs and cats, no matter if the cat is dog savvy, because it's a different dog that's in the house, right? So you still need to go through all the protocols, making sure they have their own space, making sure you take time daily to integrate them, but make sure the dog is on a leash attached to a collar while you're doing that. In order that we are establishing good behaviors, good boundaries, no growling, no chasing, no, I don't know what else that the dog might do. No trying to like, lock eyes with the cat and like search for the cat kind of thing. Right. And then every time they do good behavior, just ignoring or maybe just watching you want to treat them and pet them and play with them. And then you also want to be in that space where the cats might be in a room, but like you're with your dog doing stuff and kind of just minding your own business and minding the cat's business really, and just interact with your dog and making sure that your dog's paying attention to you instead of where are the cats,
Yep.
right. And this may take some time.
The last thing that's really important too is making sure that you spend time alone with the cat so that the cat doesn't feel like you've displaced it.
Absolutely.
It's very important that they don't feel that they're being kind of kicked to second place, that they still get attention from you, and you haven't shrunk their world or changed their environment in favor of this new thing, because you can create
Yes, and cats resent very quickly, and then they'll show. I mean, like they'll do stuff like not go. Like I used to have a cat, and like I remember this. Like when they want to show like they are resentful about something, they might not go into the litter box, and they'll just leave you a present outside of the litter box. They do stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah.
The other thing. Oh, I know. The other thing is, oh man, I was gonna say yes, because like before Molly came into the picture, I mean, your cats probably had like free reign of the house, like upstairs, downstairs. And then after that first few months, they were just upstairs, but then they would go downstairs at night. So you want to make sure that you're giving your cats, like if we have to let our cats just be on a certain area of the house, then at least nighttime we can switch it up. Even if your dog is in a crate, switch it up so that your cats can still go downstairs, and then put your dog in a crate somewhere else in the house that's not going to be where the cats are, right? So that the cats don't feel like they're being displaced, because they were there first.
You want to be careful about the dog thinking that the downstairs is his area.
Exactly.
Because then they get territorial.
Yep.
Have problems. So you want to, I would say separate for a month or so that everybody can kind of adjust. But then you want to give everybody the ability to interact and make sure that you're kind of working all of the animals into each other's space.
Right. Great. Awesome. Those are very good tips. So, Lynn, I was telling them that if they had any questions to just kind of, there are nobody who has questions right now, but they may have questions when they're watching this on replay. So I'll tag you on those questions. And hopefully, right. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, because this is like lifetime, what you call that? Live in real life stuff that, Lynn has done with cats, not just one cat, but like several cats and dogs. And every time she gets a foster dog, like she's got to integrate that. Like I remember when you had Andy over, like you had to do that too. And
yeah, and Andy wanted to kill them. Like
I know, I remember that. So
full on, he was like, no, I'm going to kill you.
Well, by the time he got to your place, he was already a year old. Yeah.
Yep. And it's very, like I said, it's people will tend to take it. I think sort of it, you see on TV the kitten curled up with the dog, and it's like, yeah, that's great. Right. But I think foremost in your mind is to understand that it can go drastically wrong and animals can get very hurt.
Yeah.
And so you just want to make sure that you, as the doggy parent, the cat parent, are being responsible, being as safe as possible, and giving them whatever time and space they need to adjust. It is not going to be an overnight thing. I mean, you can be looking at years before everything kind of settles in.
Right. Because we're really we're desensitizing them from each other. But thank you so much. And I will see you soon on Facebook, I'm sure. Take care, Lynn. Take care. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.